Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another MAMG Let's Play of 999. When we left off, we just found out the snake was the individual who was in the coffin, so now you guys know the truth about that. However, there are a lot of questions that still remain. One of the ones that I saw you guys really discussing was June and Junpei's relation to everything in here. I don't know if we're going to be able to come to revelation in this episode, but I do plan on finishing the safe ending in this episode, so next time we can do the true ending, which may be another like hour-long endeavor. Who knows? But we are inching closer to the truth behind this crazy game. His answer was less than illuminating. What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying. It seemed as though Snake was, perhaps, not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good. No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted. Their time limit was fast approaching. Snake's release from the coffin had changed nothing. They still needed to follow Ace as quickly as possible. However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood, at a loss for what they should do next. What do we do now? He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet on Snake's wrist. The 3 of us can't make a digital root of 9. Yeah, we just get 5. We're stuck here then. Oh. Hey, I just remembered something. Oh, Seven, sorry. Seven began patting his pockets as if he were checking to see if any of them held anything. I swear, if you pull out Clover's bracelet right now. What? What is it? I found something earlier. What did you find? This? He'd finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. Oh, the 0. Oh, thank God. Okay, I was like, if you pull out the 4, you... Oh. No, he doesn't have it, does he? Because Ace has it. What am I talking about? I'm a big dummy. Does Ace have it? I don't remember anymore. So many bracelets have been in circulation. Clover died there, but I don't think he took it. I think he has... Ace has his bracelet, the number 9 bracelet, and then he has Lotus. Right? So Clover's should still be there. I don't know. There's no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye. 0. Zero's bracelet. What the hell? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet? Yeah. Where did you get that? Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he'd learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have noticed 7 look away. Clover gave it to me. She did? Yeah. How did she come by it? Well, she found it, see? On the other side of door 1, A deck, in the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around, even though in the axe ending, she had plenty of time and pockets to store all the bracelets and an axe. It was a lie, and Junpei knew it. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. Yeah, so she did have it, that's right. Alright, Junpei. Been nice knowing you. What? What? Come on, man. Just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me your hand, alright? Without waiting for a response, he started walking toward the door. Junpei and Snake followed him, quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. Seven and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, Seven put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. Now, they just needed to pull the lever and the door would open. Huh? Why isn't it opening?
Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet.
Maybe it actually isn't 0. Huh?
What?
That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains. Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. Oh god. I don't know. Okay, so 7 and Snake did it, so we need Junpei in there. So either Junpei and 7 or Junpei and Snake, because I don't think Junpei with 7 and Snake on the bracelet is going to make any difference. Well, let's team up with Snake first. Snake, Junpei, and the mysterious bracelet. If that combination worked, then the mysterious bracelet's number was 2. However, nothing. The door didn't open. The mysterious bracelet wasn't a 2. Junpei continued. Okay, let's just go down the row, I guess. If that combination worked, then the mysterious bracelet's number was 6. They scanned their bracelets. It's 6. It's a 6?
It opened.
Yes, so it would seem. 7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful, and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought. That meant the number for the mysterious bracelet was 6. But how could it be 6? The display on the bracelet clearly showed a 0. Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creaking groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had, until recently, been dry.
Aw man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh?
At any rate, we now know that the door can be opened. Let's go. But, Snake, are you sure?
Yeah, you know only Junpei and I can go through this way.
You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort. But, if now is not the time for last resorts, then when? Last
resort?
Is he gonna take his arm off and leave it in there? Because then it wouldn't detect you, right? Would he do that? I don't know. I don't think he followed. Maybe he's gonna be. Oh, if he's back there, that'd be so great. Junpei, 7, and Snake ran, full tilt down a long, straight hallway. Yep, so he's there with them. They were headed for the stern of the ship, and had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat?
As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine most people would have taken it to mean that I was 0. Once they convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off. Snake's plan had been simple, but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei, it looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible. So, how had he done it? Oh, he didn't take it off, he just like, oh, gotcha. My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm. Cause see, I was thinking about that too. Everybody has it on their left wrist, so it would be on Snake's fake hand. It worked out really well for Snake. But is that a good thing? Can we trust him? I don't know. Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin. With it gone, he'd had little to fear from the numbered doors. He'd walk through the door easily without authenticating. He stepped out the other side unscathed and began running up the hall alongside 7 and Junpei. Although, you know what? Zero would know that. Zero would know that 7 was having he had a fake arm. So why would he put it on everybody's left hand? So many questions. They kept running for a while longer and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase. As far as they could tell, it went all the way to the bottom deck. There didn't seem to be any flooding. They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door. Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read, Incinerator. Incinerator? Oh my, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps? Yeah, right over here.
How did you know that?
Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so. Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever. If you pull it, the door ought to open. Got it. He pulled the lever down. We don't need to be going into no incinerator. I'm sorry, but we don't. We don't need to be doing this. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small, dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was what Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door. But why? Why was there another one? The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought. Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Yeah, this is bad. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Oh my. How exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero. A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face. What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain. It's said that the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame. Huh? Who are you? You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake. Snake? Yes. You are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth. If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7. The 3 of you couldn't have opened the door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps? What? Oh god. Well, your reaction suggests that you did not. Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet? Junpei felt his chest tighten. Oh. They haven't told you. Told me what? Clearly not. Normally, I would take some time and enjoy the moment, but I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover? Don't do it, Ace! Keep your mouth shut! Clover? I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake! Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him. What happened to Clover? Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile. Clover died. The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly. No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie. Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see. What? I'm sorry. Did I stutter? I killed her. Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked to Jumpy, disturbingly like a demon. I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance. That feeling was... I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory. Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again. Incineration will begin in 7 minutes. I'm going to kill you. Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible. I'm sorry, what? I'm going to kill you. Haha! So you're going to kill me? Please do. Come on, I'm waiting. Don't do it. Don't listen to him, Snake.
Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head.
Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister? Don't! Snake!
Don't do it.
But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Ah! Ah! Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair. Snake!
Snake!
Yeah! Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room toward Jumpy, her eyes wide with terror. Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she'd made a run for it. She reached Seven and Jumpy and ducked behind them. Jumpy could feel her fingers on his arm, tight enough to be painful, keeping him between her and Ace. Incineration will begin in 5 minutes. Give me the woman. He raised the gun. I need her. Without her bracelet, I will be unable to open this door. Quickly now. I don't have time for your shenanigans. In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor. I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Jumpy, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of an idiotic man you call Seven. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room. Incineration will begin in 4 minutes. Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you. Goodbye. Jumpy could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh. Then, it happened. Snake stood up. What? No, that's impossible! For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward, 1 step closer to Ace, then another. He looked, for all the world, like a zombie. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead. Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll get away from me. Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury. Whew. Okay, listen to me. I said don't come any closer. You bastard. Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times, the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across the body. A fine, pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Snake made a strange sort of choking cough. And then, his strength was gone. His legs crumbled and his broken and battered body slid to the floor. Incineration will begin in 3 minutes. But Snake wasn't done. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid toward Ace. One bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg, and the other gripped his thigh with the strength that should have been long gone. You're a monster! Get off of me! Let me go! He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it. Huh? This is it, Ace. We're gonna burn to death together. What? Incineration will begin in 2 minutes. Huh. Get off! Let me go, you monster! Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You can be saved. Just let me go. Pathetic. Begging for your life. Then, Seven and Lotus began to speak. Jumpy could hear tears in their voices, and their words were strained. Snake, that's enough. You can stop now. Yes, he's right, Snake. You've done enough. Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here. You have to come with us. You have to leave together. Snake turned towards them. He coughed and blood splattered across the floor. Then, he smiled, a sad sort of smile. I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me. Shut up. Be quiet. I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife, she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go. Incineration will begin in 1 minute. We're out of time. We have to go. Seven ran toward the exit. Lotus followed him. But Jumpy couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheek, where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Jumpy felt as though half his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow to clear the lump in his throat. Jumpy, what are you doing? You have to get out of here, now. Jumpy's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller, and taller. And then, it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto his shaken, unprepared mind. Snake! Snake! Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or, he tried to.
Wait! Don't be an idiot, Junpei.
He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arms to his sides and was hauling him bodily back to the door. No! No! I have to help Snake! 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 Get off me! Let me go! Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6.
I don't got a choice, kid. Don't blame me for this, alright?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down, beginning incineration. Junpei felt Seven's fist bury itself deep into his stomach, and his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. There was a small window cut into it. Inside, he could see Ace and Snake. Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this. Answer me. Answer me, Zero. Why? Why? Zero. Zero! Zero! Oh my god, that would suck. But, I mean, Ace brought it onto himself. Snake. Man, Snake. He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there, in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and, if not for the hand she'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk toward the open door, and the hallway they'd come down earlier.
Hey! Wait! Junpei!
Junpei, where are you going? He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped. You stay here. I'll go get Santa in June.
You're gonna bring them here?
How? Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait. Alright? He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going. When they walked through the hallway earlier, he noticed an elevator at the end of the side hallway. If it still worked, then maybe... Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it. He pushed it, and the door opened. Junpei was in the large hospital room. June! Santa! He kept calling, and walked to the center of the room. Are they not here? But try as he might, he couldn't find them. Where did they go? Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt like it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Where'd they go? They are nowhere. Seriously? I don't know where they went. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing. But there, on the red carpet in the center of the room... June! No, codenames didn't matter any longer. She was Canny. Canny! Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran, across the room toward her. Oh man, Canny. He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down at her body, lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still. So very still. No, it couldn't be. It was impossible. Slowly, Junpei bent down toward her. His hand shook, and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back. Her back was moving. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him. Canny! Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up. Canny! Canny! Are you alright? Jumpy. Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy, and they stared straight at Junpei but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold, very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest. Oh man, Canny, what the hell happened to you? You feel... Jumpy, I'm sorry. Her voice was very faint. I might not make it. No way! No way am I gonna let you die! I'm gonna save you, I promise! Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy. Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You've just gotta hang on, alright, Canny? Jumpy, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time. Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame. He looked down at Akane. Game over. There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke. 0. Where are you hiding? Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice. I am right here. I've always been close to you. What the hell are you talking about? No matter. I will tell you again. Game over. This game has ended. No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Canny. You can't. That is impossible. Why? Because you chose the wrong path. The wrong path? That is correct. Your path was inevitable, however. Admit defeat. Where there is shadow, there is light. Where there is light, there is shadow. So it goes. What are you talking about? It matters not. The loser has been decided. I told you I'm not gonna lose. No, you misunderstand. You haven't lost. I have lost. What? Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before he heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it Zero? Candy, wait here! I'll be right back, I promise! She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing moving anywhere. He didn't want to leave Candy alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel. Candy? She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there, on the floor, just moments before. And now she was gone. Oh God. No. No! Where is she? Candy. Candy? Candy. Candy! His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more. But there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was a cold, unfeeling silence. That was when he noticed it. A strange smell. One he'd smelled before. The smell of a peculiar white smoke. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out. So, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of theories going on here. Because, good lord, how crazy was that, right? So that is the safe ending. All we have left is the true ending to 999. And I am so ready to see what everybody's gonna think about it. I'm so ready to go back down that journey and experience it before we continue to the second one, because we are gonna continue with Virtuous Last Reward. I don't know if I'm gonna do it right after the series is done, but it will be in the very near future. But don't worry about that, I'll ramble about that all in a little bit. But yeah, that is the safe ending to 999. So we got one more ending, which is a true ending, which actually has some certain triggers that you have to do in order to do it properly. So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna film that yet, but at least I've gone through everything already, so I can fast forward through a good chunk of it without having to play through it again. That's one of the good things about this game, since it is a visual novel. But as you can see, each ending gives you another piece, just another piece to put it together so that you can hopefully see exactly what's going on. Alright, I wonder if I can skip this. Can I skip it? I don't think I can. I want to show you guys that we're like almost done with it. But I may not be able to go past this. But yeah, that was the longest ending, the longest branching path there was for the game. Like, all the other ones were, you know, like 20, 30 minutes of extra dialogue and everybody gets slaughtered or something like that. But this one, good lord, you see Ace go crazy, you see Snake go ballistic, Clover gets killed, and there's been some paths where she does the killing. It's cool. It's really, really cool to see how these characters react depending on the situation. Okay, so we should have, I think, only seek a way out. Seek a door that carries the night. I can't skip this. Who do you think did it? Now it is time. Let our game begin. Oh my god. That's super cool. Okay, yes, I'd like to save. Oh my god, I would like to save. Okay, so there we go. We got the safe ending. So as you can see, we got the 4 bad endings. The last 2 are actually going to be one and the same. We'll be able to knock them both out back to back, because if you just do one, then you don't, like, it stops. It cuts it off. Like, if you guys remember Steins Gate, like the true ending, like if you just blitz through both of them at the same time, it'll be way easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut up because this video is getting a little bit long, but thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next MJ. Let's go. Someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace and raised a fist of her own. Ooh, that's a punch! And drove it straight into his nose. Well, you've got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman. He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow. Well, maybe you'd like another one then. Before that, let me give you one of my own.